all the guidelines and recommendations are quite conflicting. They are different according to the continent, according to the countries, but all provide low grade. What does it mean? It means that we don't have any study randomized enough power to prove if we have to do something or not. So we start with a meta-analysis in this moderate risk of surgery, orthopedic surgery. And we can demonstrate that low molecular weight heparin decrease the risk of any symptomatic DVT without increasing the risk of bleeding. Thus, we can do the study without a placebo group because low molecular weight heparin demonstrated efficacy. The aim of this study is to compare Rivaroxaban 10 milligram once a day with low molecular weight heparin 4,000 international unit in prevention of major venous thromboembolism after lower limb non-major orthopedic surgery, but in patients requiring immobilization at least 2 weeks. The main inclusion criteria were adult and, as I tell you before, requiring more than 2 weeks of immobilization. The primary efficacy endpoint is major VTE according to EMEA recommendation or definition. That means a composite of symptomatic VTE, PE, VTE related to death, and asymptomatic proximal DVT at the end of treatment with a CUS screening. Of course, safety outcomes are major bleeding or non-major clinically relevant bleeding. It is PRONOMOS is international, interventional, parallel, multi-center, randomized, double-blind, non-inferiority trial. Because we have more than 20 different kinds of surgery, we decide to randomize stratified by intent and treatment duration. We have three groups between 2 and 4 weeks, 4 and 8 weeks, and more than 8 weeks. And as usual in double-blind study, all the patients received 1 tablet and 1 injection during all the time of immobilization. At the end of the treatment, thus immobilization, we perform a CUS to see proximal DVT, and a call phone was done 1 month after the end of the treatment. As you see, there is no difference between the 2 groups, and you have to notice 2 important things. It is a young population, and the second thing is, according to duration of the treatment, you see that the 2 groups were not different, with a median at about 1 month. As I tell you before, we have more than 20 types of surgery, but the most frequent one were ligament repair or tibial osteotomy, tibial fracture, and so on. The first primary efficacy outcome shows that we decrease the risk by 75% of major VTE with Rivaroxaban. According to Kaplan-Meier analysis, we see that the cumulative incidence is in favor of Rivaroxaban, whatever is the duration of the treatment, with the P equal 0.02. As you see, there is no difference in safety. According to ISTH definition, you see that there is no difference in major bleeding or non-major clinically relevant bleeding. And now we can say that net clinical benefit is quite in favor of Rivaroxaban because it decreases the risk by 60%. To summarize, you see that Rivaroxaban decreases the risk of major VTE without increasing the risk of bleeding, and the net clinical benefit is quite in favor of Rivaroxaban. In conclusion, I think that in this patient, Rivaroxaban should replace low molecular weight heparin to prevent VTE when you have immobilization after surgery. We cannot say because we have more than 25 types of surgery, so we cannot say unicompartmental knee replacement or ligament repair. The number of patients in each group is not so important. We can say in this kind of surgery, lower limb fractures, we recommend to use Rivaroxaban, 10 milligrams per day. Yes, of course, if the patient have treatment which interfere with Rivaroxaban, we have some contraindication as antibiotics like rifampicin or such a thing. We have some contraindication with Rivaroxaban, and we don't have to forget them. Yes, and I hope that we will get marketing authorization with this study, because this study is enough powered, and so it is a randomized study, international, so we need to get marketing authorization now.
Yes, this study was adequately powered, and we do believe that Bayer should ask for a new approval for this phase 4 study, because it will bring definitely a plus for the patient immobilized for several weeks. Having a pill daily is much more comfortable than any sub-Q injection.